Hello, this is Idodmg and welcome back to the channel. In this last Epoch video, I want to talk about the new developer blog with Exalted items. It's a whole new item tier being added to the game with patch 0.7.9, which is very, very close, I have a feeling. The biggest news, as I said, is the whole new item tier of Exalted items. Before we jump into the news, I want to take a step back and explain for maybe people that don't know exactly what the rarities are and how it all ties together within Last Epoch. So first of all, there's different rarities in the game. Obviously, you have common, blue, which is 2 affixes on the item. You have yellow, which is then 3 or 4 affixes on the item. You have the orange quality, which is reserved for uniques. You have greens, which are reserved for sets. And the brand new one, Exalted items, is going to be determined with purple. So what makes an item Exalted is that it has at least one affix of tier 6 or tier 7 on the item. Exalted items also have the same amount of affixes as a rare item. It's just that it has a higher rolled tiers of the tiers 6 and 7 that we're talking about. So with that in mind, one more thing I want to mention, and then we'll get to all the juicy updates is, let's say you get a blue item and you want to upgrade that to a rare. You can through the crafting system, and there's quite an in-depth system behind the crafting in this game. I do have a card up top. It does need to be updated, but it's a crafting guide that you can check out from a few months ago. Basically, the way it works, let's say you have that blue item and you want to craft and you want to add a third affix to the item, and then it'll upgrade it to then a yellow. Where it comes in, though, as I mentioned, is the tier 6 and tier 7s you can't add to items. But let's say you get an Exalted item that has a tier 6 affix, and then all the other affixes are under tier 5. You can actually craft on that item and plus up those affixes up to a max tier of 5 if you're brave enough, because the way that crafting works is the more you craft, the more you tweak an item, it starts to lose stability and can actually break and destroy the item. So that's kind of the background of items, affixes, and crafting and how all that ties in the game. So the big news with Exalted items is the fact that they're just like rares, they just have at least one tier 6 or higher on the item. So I think that's going to be a great touch to the game. And a thing to note here is they've kind of tweaked when items start to drop. So tier 5 affixes can now actually start dropping at level 32. Before you had to be level 81 to find them as drops. You could still craft them, but for them to actually drop, you had to be level 81. So then the tier 6 affixes, which would make an item Exalted, will start at level 55. And the tier 7 affixes will not start to drop until level 90. These are meant to be super, super chase and super rare items. So just because, I just hit level 90, I'm going to expect that I find an Exalted item. Probably not. You're probably going to have to hunt quite some time for it. I have a feeling after reading the dev blog that in order to find an item that has 4 tier 7 affixes on it, is just going to be ultra, ultra rare. And, I'm sure it's possible since it is RNG, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of them. And that actually makes me really excited for the item chase and the item hunt and trying to find that really well-rolled Exalted item. In the dev blog, they also noted that most builds they anticipate will have 1 to 2 tier 6 or tier 7 affixes on them, and then a mix of T5 and lower affixes. And remember, you can craft on that as well if you're feeling lucky enough. One last thing I think you should know is these items cannot be bought from a vendor, and they cannot be gambled for. So if you want an Exalted item, you can't find it through either of those avenues. You have to actually go out, kill monsters, put your build to good use, and farm and find it out in the game. I think that is just amazing. I'm so pumped to find these items and just to have that item chase and something to continue pursuing while we're diving into the new endgame mode as well. That's going to be it for this video, just in case you missed the endgame reveal video of me going through the dev blog. The card for that will be up above as well. But I enjoyed talking about this, and I'm super, super pumped to get this patch, hopefully this week. If you enjoyed this video and all the content on the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell to get notified when I post new videos throughout the week. And also feel free to share all these contents with your friends. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.